Well, hey there. Welcome back to The Truth is Viral. I'm your host, Bob Powell, and this is hopefully the only show I'll ever have to produce on a 7-inch Android tablet. I'm having to do that because my motherboard on my computer has finally died. The Truth is Viral is dead in the water, and it couldn't come at a worse time because we're less than 2 weeks away from this 50-state pro-Second Amendment rally at which I'll be speaking at the Lansing event. So, yeah, it couldn't have come at a worse time. Now, if you guys believe in what I'm doing, and I know that you do, I need your help to get back online. I cannot fight this battle on my measly little Social Security disability check. I have to have your help if The Truth is Viral is going to survive. And speaking of battle, I'm finally making my mom proud. That's one good thing. She was a member of the John Birch Society back in the day, and they were warning us 50 years ago that tyranny was about to threaten the Republic, and so she was just a little bit ahead of her time. The John Birch Society, by the way, still is around today. I subscribe to their newsletter, and you can find them on the internet. Now, the death threats that have come about as a result of all this garbage has my mom a little bit unnerved. She's a bit unworried, as is my wife now. I hadn't intended on telling her about this, but on Saturday she was feeling well enough that she wanted to go out and get out of the house and do something. So I took her to the Salvation Army and the Goodwill and the flea market. You know, she likes to just rummage through secondhand stores and see what there is to see. So, I thought I'd take her out for the day and let her enjoy that. Well, the question started coming as soon as I strapped my gun to my leg. She said, "What in the world are you doing with that thing?" Well, I hadn't planned on telling her about these death threats. And I still haven't told her the full extent of them. I told her about the threats against me, but I didn't say anything about the threats against my kids or the threat to rape her from these wonderful people on the other side of the aisle. That was something I had hoped to spare her. Yeah, I've got this all written down on paper. I had to write this show out longhand because you can't do it one character at a time on a little tablet. She says that she's got a bad feeling, both my mom and my wife, about me speaking at this open carry demonstration in Lansing on February the 8th, but I'm not worried a bit, and I'll tell you why. In the first place, everything taking place at this demonstration is going to be completely legal and above board. My guests are going to include members of the law enforcement community. They're going to be standing right next to me on the Capitol steps telling President Obama that they are not going to allow him to take our guns. And I'm very proud of that, as a matter of fact. In the second place, I'm going to be surrounded by at least 1,000 well-trained gun owners. Anyone making a move on me, well, it's the last move that they're ever going to make. On February 8th, the Capitol steps in Lansing is about the safest place in the state for me to be. And lastly, I just don't care anymore. Don't care what happens to me. The oath that I took to defend the Republic and the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, is still as valid today as it was when I was in the Marine Corps. And, my father and my stepfather, they fought their wars and bled, and why should I be any different? This is my battle. This is my chance to do the right thing and stand up for freedom. Because I never had the honor of serving in combat with my brothers. So yeah, this battle to defend the Republic, that's my battle. And we're trying to seize power back from the outlaws that have usurped it in Washington, D.C. Now, I can say that they're outlaws with confidence. The media would like for you to forget, for example, that Attorney General Eric Holder is still in contempt of Congress for lying about his role in supplying weapons to Central American drug cartels. And, it's bad enough that the nation's top law enforcement official flaunts the law with impunity, but Eric Holder's crimes pale in comparison to those of Barack Obama. I recently released a video entitled "A New Declaration of Independence, Impeach Obama Now," in which I proved that Barack Obama is guilty of every single crime that was laid at the feet of King George by the founders, and then some. It's a terrible thing, when you wake up and you realize that the leader of our nation, the one person who is supposed to embody the ideals of a free and peaceful society, is in fact using the blood and treasure of the Republic to support its enemies. They're toppling one Middle Eastern government after another. Your tax dollars are providing arms, training, and logistical support to a myriad number of different groups, and they're all flying the black flag of Al-Qaeda. And your tax dollars are being used to support that, to kill innocent people that have never done anything to us. You should be pretty pissed off about that. I know that I am. Men and women and children, innocent kids, are dying every single day because of Barack Obama thinks it's in his best interests to support Al-Qaeda terrorists. The same people that stormed the CIA mission in Libya. No, it wasn't an embassy, it wasn't a consulate, it was a CIA safe house. They were storing weapons there that the Al-Qaeda in Libya had seized from Gaddafi's armories, only they didn't want to give it up. Christopher Stevens had met with the Turkish ambassador earlier that day to transfer some of those weapons to the Al-Qaeda terrorists that are currently fighting against Bashar al-Assad in Syria. But, like I said, the ones in Libya didn't want to give them up. And there were other considerations there, too, as well. My investigation into Libya is continuing. And believe me, when I publish what I believe is true, it's going to freak you out. Fox News hasn't even touched on it. And they've been the most aggressive of any of the mainstream media. All the other networks would like you to forget that it ever happened. Now, Barack Obama, it's even worse when the person responsible for, the person most responsible for upholding the Constitution is doing everything that he can to destroy it. Barack Obama has declared war against the citizens of this nation, assuming the unconstitutional power to enslave and even kill United States citizens without so much as charging them with a crime in a court of law. On this very program last year, you saw Nate Wessler of the ACLU's Targeted Assassinations team call Barack Obama judge, jury, and executioner. Now, for the ACLU to say something like that about a Democratic president, something's got to be terribly wrong with this. And that's not the way things are supposed to work in this country. James Madison wrote that the accumulation of judicial, legislative, and executive powers in the hands of one man is the very definition of tyranny. And when Barack Hussein Obama can decide someone's guilt and their punishment with no executive or with no legislative oversight, no judicial review, that, my friends, is a tyranny. So no, I will not be silent. I will continue to uphold my oath to defend the Constitution, a document that embodies the highest ideals of a free and fair society, and I'll defend it to my dying breath. If I should fall, I expect thousands of you to rise in my place and take up the guidon of freedom. Thankfully, I'm not alone in my opposition to tyranny. Not only are thousands of you standing with me, but hundreds of county sheriffs across the country are also making public their support for the Constitution and the rule of law, telling Barack Obama and Eric Holder and anybody else that cares to listen that they will not confiscate the guns of the citizens under their care, and they will not allow people with federal authority to do it either. As I stated earlier, Barack Obama has committed every single crime that led to the first American Revolution, and I fear that a second American Revolution may not be far off. With its recent purchases of almost 2 billion rounds of hollow point and sniper ammunition, I'd say that it's an easy bet that the Obama administration is expecting the same thing. Now, I'm hoping that enough people will wake up, and with our voices, we can remain a free people. The entire purpose of this show is to save lives, and if I can do that by simply telling the truth, then I'm obligated to do so. I've given everything that I have and borrowed every bit of money that I can possibly borrow to produce this show. This borrowed 7-inch tablet is now, at this moment, my only means of communication with the outside world. I need a minimum of $750 for a new computer if I'm going to continue to lead this fight. In just 2 weeks, I'll be in Lansing speaking in support of our natural rights as free men and free women, and I need to get back online as soon as possible. So if you can help me, please go to bobpowell.blogspot.com and make a donation today. A donation of $100 or more will buy you a Truth is Viral t-shirt. Since I can't edit anything, I can't show them to you, but they're really cool. At least you'll get something for your money, in addition to the satisfaction of knowing that you did your part, whatever you could, to stand up for our freedom. Every donation, of course, every donation is gratefully appreciated, even if it's just $1. I've received donations of just $5 that came from folks to whom $5 is a significant amount of money, and those touched me the most. You know, to be quite honest, it reminds me of the widow's mite. She didn't have anything but 2 pennies to give, but she gave it. And those little donations do add up. Now, I haven't always been a good person, I'll be honest. Like everyone, I've done a lot of things that of which I'm not particularly proud. It's been a lifelong process to become the man that I am today. And a big part of that was learning from my mistakes and not making them again. My mother, for example, sacrificed everything to make sure that I had a first-rate education and that education was grounded in Judeo-Christian ethics. So I started off knowing the difference between right and wrong as a boy. And then as a teenager, I joined the Marine Corps just a couple of days after my 16th birthday. Well, they got me young enough where they could instill in me the principles of duty and honor and love of country. But as an adult, it took my wife, Delynn, to teach me how to put all those things into practice. It took her more than 20 years, but she finally molded me into something worthwhile. I think I've finally become the man that my parents and my family can be proud of. At least I hope that I am. And I hope that you guys are proud of me too. My OGs know that I'm not in this for the money. In my entire adult life, I've hardly ever had 2 pennies or 2 nickels to rub together. And I've gotten used to being broke. I've actually, crafted a nice life being broke. We don't spend money going out watching movies. We wait till they come on television. We stay at home and play board games, and we have fun as a family, and the things that we do don't cost anything. All of my daily expenses pretty much are met by my Social Security disability. We keep our expenses at a minimum, and I don't see any reason to change that now. So yeah, every cent that you guys send me is going to go into the production of this show, and we need to keep it going, because you know that the purpose of the Truth is Viral is to save as many innocent lives as possible, and that's exactly what your donations go to do. I need you to spread my videos to everybody that you know. Like us on Facebook, follow us on @TheTruthIsViral. Go to Second Right's Facebook page. Go to this rally in whatever state that you might live. This is our last best chance to peacefully redress the government with our list of grievances. Don't pass up this chance. Please. The bad guys are taking a stand. We need to stand up for righteousness and for the rule of law and the United States Constitution while we still have it. So I need your commitment to this fight. Your children require your commitment to this fight. If you want to remain free, you must go into battle with me now. Don't forget to go to bobpowell.blogspot.com and drop me a donation, whatever you can afford, even if it's just $1. Like I said, it does add up. And you might want to consider subscribing on a monthly basis, whatever you can afford, whatever you won't miss. $1, the cost of a McDonald's cup of coffee. You know, sure, I produce about 4 episodes a month. Lately, it's been more frequent, but surely my work is worth 25 cents for 45 minutes of information that I present to you every week. So please help keep The Truth is Viral alive. I need your help now more than ever, and that's not going to stop. I will always need your help. I can't do all of this by myself. I need your support, I need your love, and I need your prayers. For my safety, for the safety of my family, for God to ease the suffering of my wife, and to give me the strength and the courage that I'm going to need if I'm going to lead this battle. That's all I've got for today. My name is Bob Powell. Thank you ever so much for watching The Truth is Viral. As always, God bless. Semper Fi. Hoorah.